One of the mainstream ideas that we tend to use to keep ourselves at the waiting line of action is the saying that says God's time is the best. We tend to use that to stop ourselves from taking action. God's time is not the best, but the time that you choose to walk with God is the best. For you and I to say that God's time is the best, it means that there is a particular time that is allocated to God for him to work at his best, which is not true, because God is a limitless being. God is a powerful being that works at all time. He is not bound to a particular point in time for him to work at his best. He's always ready to work with any man that is willing to work with him. So it is you and I that have to be willing and ready to work with him, because he is always available to work with us. One of the funniest thing is that, like, we humans, we tend to believe that we are going to live here on earth till eternity. We tend to believe that death is something that can happen to others. For the fact that we've been hearing that people are dying, we tend to act as if it's not something that can likely happen to us. But just as you are hearing that that person has died, that this person has died, one day is going to be your turn, and you don't know that day. You and I, we don't know when we are going. We have no assurance that it is going to be like 100 years from now. It might be tomorrow. And I'm not saying that to scare you, but the truth is, the more we subject ourselves to waiting on God for that set time that God has appointed for us to do that project, to make that investment, to start that business, the more we wait, the more we waste our time, the more we waste our life, the more we tend to like shade our procrastination with God's time is the best. The more we tend to say that, the more we keep procrastinating. So God's time is not the best, but the time you choose to work with God, the time you choose to work on that project is the best. That might sound ridiculous to you, but the truth cannot be further than that. All that idea of waiting on God is just to distract you from taking action that you need to take. There's no amount of prayer you are going to pray that God is going to extend your days here on earth. Your days had been numbered by God. God knows when you are going. God knows when you are waving by to the world. Your time has been set by him. So as soon as we made it to this earth, our time has started counting, and every day we are getting closer to our last day here on earth. So God didn't create us to be for us to be waiting on him, for us to be saying, oh, God's time is the best, as if to say he has a particular point in time that he can work at his best. Our time is going, and we are not getting younger. When you look at yourself right now, you can agree with me that your body is not as how it was like 10 years ago. We are getting older. and every day our time is getting shorter. So that project, that business, that purpose that we have in our mind to get started, like to make happen, this is the set time for us to start it, instead of waiting on God to for that time that God is going to call us with a loud voice. Oh my son, this is the time for you to start working on that project. This is the time for you to start working on that dream. This is the time for you to start that business. This is the time for you to buy that property. If you and I are waiting on God to call us with a loud voice, just as some people tend to make us to believe, if we are waiting for God to call us with that loud voice, oh my son, now it is time to start that project. If we are waiting for that, we are not going to hear that, because God has already put us here for a limited time. And as soon as we were giving birth to, our time has started running out. Like you want to start the race, there's a set time for that race to get started, and there's a set time at which that race is going to end. The same thing goes with our life. There's a set time for us to start living, and there's a set time for us to live here. There's no amount of begging that we are going to beg God when that time has come that God is going to extend our days. And if we choose not to do that which we are ought to do with our life as such, when we have the time to do it, we are going to go to our grave with a lot of regrets, like that, oh, we had this time, that time to do this thing, but we were waiting on God. We were hoping that God's time is coming. So I'm telling you and I that today, that there's no any set time for you and I to do that which we need to do. That property that you need to buy to set your life in and the life of your loved ones in order, buy that property. That business that you need to start, that to help you up your game financially, to set your life and your household in order financially, get started with that business. God is not going to come and shout on top of the roof and say, oh my son, it is time to set up that business, it is time to buy that property. No, it is not going to happen. That might happen in African magic, but in real life, nobody can hear God with a loud voice, because God can talk to us in our spirit, but God is not going to come and shout on top of the roof as if to say it's African magic that you will hear him. Oh my son, it is time to start that business. My son, it is time to start that project. It's not going to happen. And like I said before, there's no set time allotted to God to work at his best. God is always willing and ready to work with any man that is ready to work with him. So it is all on us to get ready and be willing to work with God. And once we are ready, God will aid us in fulfilling that purpose that we ought to fulfill before leaving here. Just like a Chinese proverb says that when a student is ready, then the teacher will appear. The same thing applies to you and God. Once you are ready to work on that project, God is ready to aid you. God is ready to support you. God is ready to work with you to see the fulfillment of that project. But if you choose not to start, God is not going to get anything done for you. He is earnestly waiting for you to start. So what I want you to know is that you are not the one actually waiting on God. God is the one waiting on you to realize that dream, that purpose, that business, to get started with that business. God is waiting on you and I to start that business, to buy that property. He's the one waiting on us. We are not the one waiting on him. In fact, if you have not gotten anything from the video, get that. God is the one waiting on us. We are not the one waiting on him. So it is high time we get rid of that idea of God's time is the best. Your time is the best. And I believe that we live our life to come to the end of our life and actually thanking God that we live our best life. That is my desire for you and I. So God bless you. Ensure to share this video with someone or to bless someone with this video so that we can all maximize the earth and our life for God. Until next time, peace.